Hey ladies and gents, what's up? I hope you're all good. It's SpoonyPizzas here with another eFootball 2023 video. So yesterday's video seemed to have a lot of positive impact on a lot of you guys, and there was a lot of questions around play styles of the players, the instructions or individual instructions for the players, how I train the players, all that good stuff. So basically I want to do one video where I'm going to encapsulate it all, explain some of the thinking behind what I did. So there may be a little bit of gameplay footage, but this is mainly going to be talking solely about the tactics and what I'm doing. So I've got Xavi as the manager, and I'm obviously playing a possession game, as you can see at the top. Now, a lot of you ask what are the sort of roles or the actual instructions or individual instructions, should I say, for my players. But you can see here, I've got none. I've got absolutely nothing. There was one time when I switched Neymar to being offensive, but that was only because I wanted to preserve his stamina. It was like 66th minute or something like this, 60th minute. And I wanted to preserve his stamina going into the final third of the match. I needed him up the pitch. I needed him to do damage, and I was prepared to sacrifice. Normally I wouldn't do that because obviously Neymar and Sancho are expected to track back and work hard for the team. So normally I would not do that, but that's the only time. I've got no sub tactics, which is kind of surprising for me. I should have an alternate tactic to fall through or fall back on. But yeah, there's no individual instructions there for the players. In terms of the sort of team match roles, you know, this is what it sort of looks like. Haven't really touched the players to join attack. I'm happy with the corner setup right now. I find that Neymar is on the edge of the box and all that good stuff. So no need to change anything there. So let me just talk to you about the actual players themselves. So I mentioned like the backline is pretty quick in terms of their pace, because with the possession based style you do need some fast defenders, and I've gone for, you know, not massive speed, but 72 acceleration, 77 speed for Koulibaly, and 62 acceleration, 76 speed. And I'll be looking at the training for all of the players sooner or later anyway, but you can sort of get a feel for how they look. I mean, Van Dyke is my slowest defender, and then we've got Alaba, he's got 77 acceleration, 80 speed, so a pretty quick back line. This Diego Costa is absolutely insane. I don't know why he's so good for me, but I mean, I've been used to pretty poor goalkeepers in the past, and I had Navas, who was a great signing for his price and the stats that he gives out in terms of his goalkeeping awareness and his reflexes. Those are the two most important. But this guy has been insane for me. He's like literally saving literally everything. So I was pleasantly surprised with just how good this guy has been for me. So he is in goal. Now, in terms of the roles, Alaba, build up. Van Dyke, build up, and Koulibaly, the destroyer. Now, I don't normally like the destroyer role. I do find they tend to go walkabouts. He's not too bad. I don't know if it's because his defensive awareness is 85, but it's not something I tend to prefer. I much prefer the build up. They seem to be in positionally better. Although in saying that, you know, Alaba can go walkabouts, but that's because he likes to get forward. I tend to drag him out of position on purpose because he's a ball playing defender, right? You look at his stats, he's got that lofted passing, and if I'm ever playing the ball out of defense, I always tend to pass to him, like spread the ball using the stunning pass or lob pass to Neymar or Sancho. Now, my defensive midfielders are orchestrators. When you're attacking in the final, like in your opponent's half, you'll find they sit about halfway between your defenders and your attacking midfielders, which means that that's a decent amount of space. I find like if I had them in central midfielders, they'd be too close to my attacking midfielders and not close enough to my defenders. And if I had defensive midfielders, they'd be too far away from passing the ball to Modric and Foden. I want them to be involved. I want them to dictate the play. I will generally, when I pass it back to these guys, I generally don't send them on player runs because I don't want them often going past these players unless I see an opportunity where I'm overloading perhaps one area of the pitch and I can see a gap and I can think there's a reason for Verratti or Jorginho to go forward. But other than that, I would generally just leave them in their positions, not play any sort of, you know, I'm not holding player select and pressing the pass button with either of these guys because I want to maintain the shape of the team. And the fact I've not got a anchor player here is because it will become disjointed. This player will then sit back a little bit deeper and this one will be a little bit higher, and then it basically opens like diagonal passes through them, which makes it a little bit easier to play through. So this is why I like having very, very similar players. We've got Modric, who's an orchestrator, and Foden, who's a creative playmaker. Their positioning is sort of jagged ever so slightly. Like I say, Foden's a little bit further forward, but that just allows sometimes triangular passes into Modric, into Foden. But to be honest, I didn't really look at the orchestrator role and the attacking midfield role or attacking midfield position, because it doesn't really matter too much. You know, I could play anyone there. I could play a classic number 10. I've played Thiago there. I've played Dimitri Payet there, and they all seem to work. So it's not too important about the player roles in these positions, in my opinion. You could play anyone. You could play a whole player, you know, classic number 10, etc. It really doesn't make all that much difference. They operate in a very, very similar way. But the orchestrator role for those two defensive midfielders is important, in my opinion. So that is the key to making this formation work. And in my opinion, Verratti and Jorginho are the best defensive midfielders in the game. A lot of you going, oh yeah, but what about Kante? Kante is great. Kante is great for winning the ball back, but in my game, I want to control the game. I don't want to have to spend my time winning the ball back. So I'll leave the ball winning to these guys back here. So this is why I like ball playing defensive midfielders. And look at their stats: ball control, tight possession. I've already covered this in the last video. So basically, they're good at receiving the ball and picking it up and passing it as well. So they've all got really high passing stats and ball control and tight possession. Those are the key stats for me in those positions. And they've also all got one-touch passing. A lot of you pointed out that Neymar does not have one-touch passing, and you are absolutely right. So I do apologize about a slip. I just saw the no-look pass, but you know, it's Neymar. He's ridiculously good at dribbling. He's creative, and that's the only reason he gets a buy on that left-hand side. He can create something out of nothing. But Sancho on this hand side does have one touch pass, as you can see there, and you know, he's exceptional for that right hand side. To be honest, there's not too many players better than him on that right hand side. If you do want to opt for Sancho, there's other players I can recommend. Angel Dimray is one of the right sided players that I'd definitely recommend. He's got one touch passing, as you can see in his player skills, but he's got good dribbling, good acceleration, good speed, tight possession, ball control, low passing and lofted passing. So a very, very nice rounded player, and 74 for balance. And if you train him right, he can be a real force on that right hand side for you. But the thing about Dimray is he's so flexible. He can literally play all over the pitch, as you can see in the top right corner. Like I said, Mahrez is probably another player, probably the best right hand sided player. The only thing he doesn't have is the one touch pass like Dimray has. He's got ball control, he's got dribbling, he's got tight possession, he's got acceleration, speed, but he's going to really cause a lot of problems on that right hand side. He's so tricky, he maneuvers so well, providing you keep that 5-point disparity between your speed and acceleration. Just makes you keep that as it is, so just boost those equally. But yeah, he's a sublime player to have on that right hand side. Left footed, so you can cut inside and score the odd screamer as well. A few of you asked about Gnabry, and to be honest, I underestimated him. He looks actually better than I thought. So he's got 82 for acceleration, 81 for dribbling, tight possession, low passing. He's even got the one-touch passing player skill as well, and he's got very high balance. So yeah, I underestimated just how good this guy is. The only thing I would say, he's right-footed, so you know, cutting inside is not going to be his sort of forte. And then up top, I've got Kylian Mbappe. I got so lucky with this guy. But you can buy him for like 1.1 million, I think. GP, definitely worth it. And this is the sort of stats he's got. And the reason it works, well, because it's a possession-based game, what I tend to do is pick up the ball with Mbappe, play it back to either Foden or Modric, send him on a player run. Because with the possession game, he will come short. He will come short to Foden, he'll come short to Modric. You play the ball, he spins in behind, and then you just either shift the ball to the left or to the right, wherever you can see the gap, and then play a through ball, and then you win the game. Basically, through ball for the wins right now. Dribbling is not too important in the latest update, so that's why this formation is working so well. You're basically just passing teams to death, and I love it. So that's the actual setup. I want to go through the training of my players now. So starting with Neymar Junior. So this is how Neymar looks. 92 ball control, 94 dribbling, 92 tight possession, 90 for acceleration, 82 for speed. I really like keeping that disparity of acceleration and speed. 8 points is good, but I would probably prefer 6 to 4 points difference. So ideally the speed being 84 or 86, somewhere around there would be pretty good. Balance is 89, and then obviously, you know, I didn't really focus on the finishing stats. In this game, finishing stats, yeah, they're kind of important, but having the ball control and everything else is more important to me. And obviously he's got 80 for low pass, so can really let it be lower than that without the one-touch pass. Van Dyke, this is how I trained Van Dyke. So we've got 94 defensive awareness, 91 tackling, defensive engagement 84. So defensive awareness is probably the most important. Tackling and aggression are least important. Certainly aggression is least important, and then defensive engagement. So it goes defensive awareness, defensive engagement, tackling. Well, in fact, I would probably abandon tackling. I would say more like speed and acceleration, because if you tackle the way I do using the matchup button, it doesn't take tackling into consideration. That's if you're just using the sort of X to press and do it automatically for yourself. And then physical contact 87, making him very strong, easy to push players off the ball, and 95 points in the possession game. Koulibaly, defensive awareness 85, tackling 90, aggression 83, defensive engagement 88, speed 77, acceleration 72, 99 for my possession game, so and 86 for physical contact. Alaba, I basically focused on boosting his defensive game. I'm pretty sure I didn't touch anything else in terms of speed, acceleration, or passing or anything like that, because he already had those stats. He just needed boosting in the defensive area. So I'm pretty sure all my points went into the defensive side of his game. Luka Modric, I pretty much focused on building up his tight possession, his ball control, and his passing. Everything else I pretty much didn't touch. Didn't touch his shooting, didn't touch his speed or acceleration or anything like that. That's pretty much it. Keylor Navas, an excellent signing as I mentioned earlier. And, you know, his goalkeeping awareness is 89, goalkeeping reflex is 90, catching 82, parrying 84, and goalkeeper reach 82. Very, very good goalkeeper for the money if you train him to the max. So a worthwhile signing for his price. One of the best. The only one I could really recommend above him, especially if you're not a possession base player and you're a quick counter, then Oblak probably is the best. But after that, if you want a possession style goalkeeper, the best you can probably buy is Neuer. Here's Verratti. So you can see I boosted his ball control, dribbling, passing, tight possession, all that good stuff. And, you know, pretty much maybe some points in, like 4 points in defensive awareness and tackling and aggression. That wasn't really too important to me. The most important thing was to have him able to control the ball, pass the ball, take the ball, pass the ball, tiki-taka style. Kovacic was a sort of club selection from Chelsea earlier on in the season, and this is how I trained him. He no longer really features for me. He's a box-to-box player. Not really. He's been really good for me, not gonna lie, but this is probably one sort of player I would probably leave out the team more than most, because he's box-to-box, because he's going to be sort of entering the same spaces as my defensive midfielders and my attacking midfielders. So that's why I don't tend to opt for him very much. But you can see the sort of training again, around ball control, dribbling, tight possession, low pass. That's pretty much it. Phil Foden, one of the best players or best feeling players you can have on your side. He's so nimble, quick-footed, and he's absolutely insane. So he's got 92 possession game. I boosted that up, and he's got 92 ball control, 94 dribbling, 93 tight possession. So those are really nice and tight together. Acceleration 84 and speed 79, balance 86. So he feels so good on the ball. He is a left wing forward, but I just play him in that central area because that's where he's best. Well, his weak foot accuracy is medium, but honestly, he's one of the worst finishers with his weaker foot that I've ever seen. He misses so frequently with his weaker foot. I'm surprised it's medium. Jadon Sancho, who have also maxed out with the training, as you can see there, 32 levels. He's got 92 for dribbling, 87 acceleration, 82 speed. Keeping that disparity between speed and acceleration, that's really important. Low pass, lofted pass, 81 and 80, tight possession 87, dribbling 92, ball control 89, and balance 90. Felipe Coutinho, another really good signing here. So I've boosted his ball control, dribbling, tight possession, passing. He's obviously got the ability to score a few long ranges with that high curling ability, and his balance is 93. So very comfortable in tight spaces, and he was like a nice nominating contract that I picked up in the last pack. Son was a random pick, and I always said this guy was not going to be good for me. I'm trying to fix him slowly. His speed was way over his acceleration. I think his acceleration was 85 or 82 or something like this. And basically all my points so far have gone into boosting his dexterity, as you can see here, 85 for dexterity. So, you know, you can see that I'm boosting that right up, and that's going to boost his offensive awareness up, but that's where all my points are going to go, just to try and get that acceleration over his speed. But not a great player in my opinion. That's why he doesn't really sit on my suspension anymore. Jorginho, so this is how he looks. 84 for ball control, 86 for dribbling, 95 for tight possession, 87 for low passing, 87 for lofted passing, and 84 for stamina. Possession game, I've boosted up right to 99, and I've boosted his defensive stats as well. He has got interception, unlike Verratti, so that's something to take into consideration. Probably the best defensive midfielder in the game, in my opinion. Mertens was a great signing, considering I didn't really have the funds to go out and buy a top-level striker at the time. But he's fabulous. He's got such good player skills for linking the play. Look at that. One-touch pass, first-time shot, acrobatic finishing, double touch, soul control. That is like absolutely superb. And he's got super sub now, so he can come off the bench and do some serious damage. I boosted his tight possession, his ball control, boosted his finishing just a little bit because I needed someone to put the ball in the back of the net because I didn't boost anyone else's finishing. And he's obviously gets the most chances because he's in and around the box. Acceleration and speed, and his balance is really good. So a really, really nice rounded player. Definitely one I could recommend if you haven't got like a superstar squad or haven't got quite the funds to build one just yet. But yeah, definitely recommend having Mertens in your side. And just before I go, he is a deep lying forward, so he will drop off even more than the likes of Mbappe that I've got now, which is quite nice because it, like I said, it does link the play very, very nicely with a deep lying forward in this formation. Dimitri Payet, probably one of the best free kick takers I've got. I haven't really leveled him up all that much, so we can see how my progression is going. So if I've put 5 points into dribbling, 2 points into dexterity, and no points anywhere else just yet. I'm just looking to boost the ball control, the dribbling, the tight possession, all that good stuff. And I've put 2 points into dexterity to boost his balance up to 80, and probably the rest of my points will probably go into passing and dribbling once I finish with him. So that is pretty much it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to smash that like button. And if you got any more requests or anything you want to see from my side, or perhaps maybe you want me to do another live training, online training session, I've got an offline training session coming soon as well, so be sure to stay tuned for that, which is going to be slightly different. It means I can actually pause the game, show you some things that I'm looking at and things I'm doing. And yeah, basically, hopefully you guys will be seeing more and more content from myself coming this week and future weeks, and we're going to be back up and running as my voice is fully back and repaired. So thank you all for joining me, and take care. Bye bye.